So in that first video, I showed you how to essentially set the thing up, right? And here we have the entire thing all set up or whatever, and it's on OS 5, which you can't downgrade to OS 3, and there are other solutions to this. When you first get it, you have the Western Digital software called SmartWare, and that's basically exactly what I wanted, but I couldn't get it to run sustainably on Windows 10, and on Windows 11 it wouldn't even install correctly, so that was a complete write-off. And I would try the other two programs that they offer, which is Acronis, which gives you a 5-year subscription to it, so that's cool, but only does a full backup, which means that it's going to back up every single thing off of the computer, all of my files and everything. So that's going to be like my documents, downloads, music, pictures, videos. It'll back up all of those, but it's an encrypted backup, which means I don't have access on anything else. I have to restore the backup manually on my laptop in order to get access to these files. And then on my phone, I have no hope of actually accessing them at all. So that Acronis thing is a complete waste of time. That's basically for like a NAS or an external hard drive or something for making long-term backups. But for actually using this as a cloud, which is what this is, it's completely stupid. Like there's no reason you should even be using that. You could just buy a NAS or an external hard drive for cheaper with the same function. But then there's another program called GoodSync. This is exactly what I want. So it does full sync across. It'll sync all of these directories right to the cloud, and it'll detect any changes, and it'll upload any changed files to the laptop. And I have access to everything on the cloud from my phone. So that is exactly what I want. And you can be on OS 5 and everything is good. The only downfall is this is a subscription program. So it's $40 a year, which kind of sucks because the whole point of this was to avoid paying subscription fees for cloud storage. And I'm literally paying a subscription fee for my own cloud storage, where you have to front the cost of the device, the drives, not to mention the wear and tear on the drives that you're going to have to replace, plus the hydro of this thing running 24/7. It's also extremely loud, so I had to set it up in a different room, but all of that is in the first video that I made about this. I'm going to show you how to set the entire thing up, but I'm having a huge issue, so I'm actually going to be bringing this back after this because even this GoodSync software sucks. And like I've mentioned in other videos, I have Google Drive subscription that renewed in August for a year. So I'm just going to continue using Google Drive. I'm going to format my computer and get it all working because now that these drives are removed, I have only one RAID in this computer. The whole reason that Google Drive wasn't working was because I had a second drive, and you can install it on a second drive. But now that I don't have a second drive, every single thing is going to be backed up to Google Drive with a 2 terabyte account, which is paid for a year. I have enough capacity on this computer and my laptop to back up the entire cloud storage thing, and then the video archive, I'm just going to make a shared network drive off of my external hard drive. So if on the very rare instance that I actually have to get something off of that to edit a video and use an old clip or something like that, then I can access the network drive within my local network. I can get the file that I need and do the work. But as for doing anything like that remotely, I can't. But the quickly accessed files that I'm going to be needing, which are these folders right here, these will be accessible on Google Drive. So it's gonna work for me, but I don't know. It just sucks that they changed it because I could have also had videos in there just by selecting the projects folder that's in here instead of the entire videos folder that it forces me to back up. But I think I found a solution around this that I'm gonna show in a different video. But now, one downfall, CPU usage randomly spikes for no reason. RAM usage is almost 50%, which, I mean, like, RAM not being used is RAM wasted, but it's using like almost 50%. It's like just shy of 47% RAM usage at idle. I don't have a single thing on here, and I've just completely wiped it and set the entire thing up. It's also in RAID 0 messed up when I was setting it up, but it was already formatting the drives and I couldn't go back. So since I'm going to be returning this anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm taking my drives back out after I finish this video. The first thing that I wanted to do was go to shares, and I wanted to remove the time machine because I'm only doing this on Windows and Android, so I don't need Apple backup. Then in settings, we can go all the way down and we can turn off Mac backups because I'm not using them. If you are, you can leave this on. But for me, it's just wasted resources and I don't need it. Now, the reason I'm bringing this back, because in my last video, I mentioned how this is still a cheaper solution than paying for cloud storage from a provider, as long as you're doing mass storage quantities like I am. So if you're looking at like 5 terabyte or more, then this is a good solution and I would recommend it. However, I'm not sure what's going on with the program. Basically like killed my computer in performance. So this part here, I'm not going to do any jump cuts and I'm just going to show you how long this takes to load. Okay, so this is the only thing that is affected by this is File Explorer. So we're going to open File Explorer and now we're going to wait. And we're probably going to wait for a while. And this is in real time. Like, I'm just going to continue talking so that way you can see that I'm not actually cutting anything, or I'm not extending this or making it longer. This is full real time. And now that it's started, you can see that it is still loading because we don't have anything else over here. And the drives didn't show up. So there we go. So it just finally loaded. And that is how slow it is every single time, no matter what. And as soon as I uninstalled this program, blazing fast. Instant. It says Ben from the future here. I just wanted to show you that it's not slow at all. That's how fast it normally opens. So that's how much slowdown there was using that GoodSync program, at least on this computer, because on Windows 11 it works perfect. I haven't tested on a different build of Windows 10. I'm assuming it's probably because of these themes and everything that I have going on, but this computer is stupid fast otherwise. So it was just that GoodSync program that was making File Explorer take so long to load. So it is 100% this program that is doing this. We have to have cloud access enabled, so we can just connect to the cloud with the account that they make you make when you're setting the whole thing up and everything. Or you can go here to cloud access and then you can sign in or whatever and then set the whole thing up. For the shares, I'm just going to make a test share. So this is just going to be called test. And these would essentially be these directory folders that I want to copy over. So I would make one for documents, downloads, music, pictures, videos, and I would do all of those. And then I'd make another one for archive, just so all of the files are archived on the cloud itself. Now we want to make sure that we have mobile and web access enabled, as well as it being public. So that way, if I want to share a link or something, then I can share a link to a file to someone who doesn't have access to this server on like a user or admin account basis. So that way I can still share files on Discord like I have been with Google Drive. So now that that is all set up, we can go over to network. And then in here, under storage, this is to actually sign in to the device. This one right here under computers is to access the cloud storage itself, which you can see the entire time I was talking there, it was still loading because of how slow this has become with GoodSync. So right here, if I just double click this one, it goes to the login page and then it automatically signs in for me and we're good to go. So that's how you manage the entire thing. And then if we want to access the storage, we just go to this one and we should have this public folder, which you can't get rid of. And that kind of sucks because I'm never going to be using it, or test. But you can see that the Windows security credentials has just come up. And right now we have to type in our username and password. So it's going to be the same to sign into this page. So it's going to be admin and then the password that we created. And we can click OK to sign in. And now we have access to this. Now that screen can also be a user account. So if there's multiple users, then over here, what we can do, we can essentially allocate folders to someone else. So if you have someone else in the household or friends who also want to share this storage from you, then under the user access, what we would do is add another user. So for that, we'd go to users and we can add another user here. And then this would be the username for that specific person. They can pick whatever they want. The description just could be their name. So that way you as the administrator know how to manage everything and what accounts are what. And then the password for them, which either they could pick or you could pick, but being an admin, you have access to the account regardless. So we can just cancel that. But you could add another user here. And then under the shares for say this folder, you can pick who has access. So we can have it so they can read and write. They can only read files, so that way you can manage everything. Or we can have it so they don't have access to it at all, so your personal files are not shared with other people. And when we're signing in over here, we can use one of those user accounts created to sign in, and it'll only unlock the access to whichever folders. And we're going to create a new one, and this is going to be documents. And this is going to be like a real world instance of how I would actually be using this. So now we have public on, so that way if I share a link from here, then anyone can access the link. And we have the mobile and web app access enabled, so that's our cloud access. So that way my laptop or my phone can also access this file, as well as anyone else that I share a link to. So now that this is created, we can wait forever. We can open File Explorer and we can go to network and we can go back here. And right here, you see that we have the documents folder. Now, if we open the actual documents folder, you can see there's nothing in here. And the directory for this is in my user account. So if we right click and we go to properties, location, you can see that this is C, users, be anonymous, and then documents. What we want to do is we want to change this location to this folder here, because the way I had this set up before was that all of the current files and everything that I'm working on were on the NVMe RAID, and then all of the storage files and everything that I need long-term were on the hard drive. But now that there's no hard drives because I've put them in this cloud, this essentially has to be my local storage. So it's going to be network attached storage, but it's also gigabit LAN, so it's really not going to be that slow. Plus they're hard drives, so it's not blazing fast or anything anyway. So I have to change all of these to this folder. So if we just go here and we just copy this location, because there's a documents folder in here, and if we go to documents and we will make a test file. So this is just going to be called desktop because we're creating this file from the desktop. And now in documents, you can see that there's nothing here. But if we go back to this PC, we right click, go to properties, change the location. Right here, we just change this to that network shared drive. Then we can just hit OK. It's going to move that folder over. And now when we open this on the network share, it's going to have that documents folder. And when we open this documents folder, this is this drive. So now I no longer have a local documents folder on the NVMe RAID. This folder is now going over the network and it's coming off of the cloud. So now I have to do this for all of these folders and then back up all of my stuff from the external into these folders. And this essentially just makes my computer have the entire storage solution in a different room. So that way it's not making noise or anything. And then I can access this through the cloud. So if I go to mycloud.com, then I can sign into my cloud. We'll pick the device that I have right here. So now it's telling me to update, even though I have updated, and you can not update and continue on myCloud 3, which is another solution because you can use SyncThing, which is an alternative to this, and it works on OS 3. You can also install Docker, which means that you can convert this into a NextCloud and then have your entire own cloud solution that you're managing. So OS 3 is significantly better than OS 5. I highly recommend you don't upgrade, because once you upgrade, you cannot downgrade. And one person did figure out how to downgrade, basically by corrupting the kernel that's on the cloud itself, and then that forces it into a safe mode recovery, which will flash back the original shipped operating system of OS 3. The only downfall is after they were using it for a while, they ended up having some issue where they almost lost like 40 terabytes worth of stuff because the thing just decided to format itself. So OS 3 is extremely buggy, it's not safe, don't use it, but it does have more possibility. However, because I'm already on OS 5 and I can't downgrade, we're just signing into OS 5. And then in here, you have to sign in with the cloud account. So that's going to be the same account that you set up to give cloud access. So now that I've signed into this cloud, we can go to documents. Right here is that desktop folder that we made on the desktop. So now on my laptop, I could go to the same web page. I could even use the app for Android or whatever, but this isn't the full solution. I still need to figure out how to sync the files across these devices. And because I can't use these network shares on Wi-Fi or when I'm outside of the network, that makes the laptop not able to sync files live, which means that if I'm working on a video, I suddenly have to run, then I grab my laptop, I no longer have access to any of the files because I'm no longer on the network, which means I can't do any work on the go with my laptop unless I manually download all of the files using the browser. So now that is where GoodSync comes in. Again, like I mentioned, $40 a year to use this. So that sucks, but I will probably be looking back into some sort of cloud solution like this later down the road once the Google Drive thing expires and everything. But all we have to do is open this and we just have to add these folders right here and then sync them to this location. So we can go to GoodSync, which is going to open up here. And now the free version that they give you is a 30-day trial, and it'll only allow you to have one job, which means that you can basically pick this single folder and you could back up your entire user folder, which will be all of your files and everything. But that's exactly the same as Google Drive with the all or nothing backup. In order to have individual files, right now, the entire desktop situation is done. Anything that I put in the documents folder is going to update right to the network attached storage, which has cloud access. This is going to be simulating what I have to do on my laptop. This folder right here, we can make as many as we want. So on my laptop, I can sync all of the documents so that way they appear on my laptop. Music, pictures, videos, or even just the project folder in the videos folder. So that way everything is working exactly as it would. So for this one, what I have to do is I have to sync this reversed. So I have to take the folder from the network attached storage. But like I said, we're not going to have access to the local network when we're out. You have to connect your Western Digital cloud account to this app. And we do that by going to the myCloud setup page. And we're going to go to apps. And now in here, what we have to do is install GoodSync. But for whatever reason, this is out of date. This is going to install 11.4 and 11.8 is the latest one. So you can just click install and everything is fine. Or we can go to a manual install, click accept, and we can pick the latest bin file that we've downloaded directly from GoodSync. So now in here you can see we have GoodSync, and we have to configure this. And you can see that it's 11.8.0.5, so this is the latest version as of right now. So we want to configure this. We want to sign in with our GoodSync account, and that's going to be the one that we paid for the license. And once we're signed in and everything, then we're basically done, because we already have the paid license, we already have the account, so now our GoodSync account is now paired to this device. We can go back to GoodSync, and now again, this is going to be simulating what I would do on my laptop. I already have it set up in a different way because I was testing some things, but basically what we're going to do is we're going to go to Documents, and we're going to pick GoodSync Connect. And now we're going to pick our account, and we can pick the MyCloud EX2 Ultra. So now this is the cloud device. We're going to go to the Shares folder, and we have the Documents folder that we've just selected. On this side here, we're going to go to My Computer, Local, Our Account. Under the User Settings, you would have the Documents folder. So just for proof of concept, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make another Documents folder, just to simulate that this is the laptop. So this right here is the simulated documents folder from the laptop. So now we can pretend that this is the laptop. So this is what I would be doing on the laptop right now. So this is the same directory and everything that I would have the documents folder in on the laptop, which is on the NVMe RAID. And this is laptop making a file from the laptop. And then again, we're going to go to My Computer, Local, the user account, and then Documents. So now this is going to take any file from Documents on the cloud, which is the local storage on my computer because it's only network attached storage now. So this folder on my desktop computer is the network attached storage. So it's essentially an external hard drive over a network cable to my computer. There's no local storage on the computer at all other than the NVMe RAID, which is only for projects that I'm currently working on. That's right here. So any files in here, which we know that in this folder is this .text. And now over here, which is our simulated laptop, I have the Documents folder, which we know that this simulated folder right here for the laptop has a laptop.txt in it. Everything from this folder is going to sync to this folder. And because this is a synchronization both ways, anything from here is also going to sync to here. So that means that any folder I make on my desktop is going to transfer to my laptop, and any changes or alterations that I make on my laptop is going to transfer to the desktop. So now all we have to do is hit apply. We want to hit yes, and then we're going to analyze this. And right here you can see that it found two files because they're different. So all we have to do is sync, and there we go. Now you can see right here, this is our desktop, and we have desktop and laptop. And now on the laptop itself, we have desktop and laptop because it just synced both of these files across each other across the cloud. So now any file that I put on the desktop is going to be on the laptop and vice versa. These folders are identical. I'm managing one storage solution from two computers. So this entire setup is flawless. It works perfect. The only issue is for some reason it is incredibly slow, and I'm just going to blindly assume right now that it's because I have the entire thing themed, and for some reason, because this program manages the file explorer and network drives and everything, that's probably why it's having issues and slowing everything down, because it's probably trying to load and sync all of these files by using the directories, which goes through File Explorer, and then it's seeing these themed versions and everything. So hopefully this is updated in the future, something to fix whatever bug is going on, or maybe it's just my OS because this works flawless on Windows 11. But again, I don't have that themed or anything, but it is a whole different theme from factory compared to this. So this could just be something with my computer itself because I installed so many different programs when I was testing and then uninstalled that maybe there's loose old files in the background that have corrupted something. I'm not entirely sure. So I'm not gonna give this like a bad rap yet, and it works flawless on Windows 11. It's just for some reason, my use case is extremely slow opening File Explorer. So that's basically it. So any file that I make on the laptop is going to appear on the desktop, and any file that I make on the desktop is going to appear on the laptop, and everything is perfectly synced together. It costs $40 a year, which isn't the end of the world. And then in here, we have cloud access to everything. We can manage everything. And just for absurd amounts of storage, this ends up being the cheapest solution that you can possibly have for cloud storage. Because I'm having issues with this, and I really feel that this is extremely shady practice by Western Digital, that they offered essentially a free version of this software made by them, but instead of updating it so it actually works on OS 5 with Windows 10 and Windows 11, they just completely gave up, canceled the project entirely, and then force you to upgrade to OS 5. And even if you're on OS 5, they still give you a reminder to upgrade to OS 5. And then once you're on that, you can't downgrade. And if you do downgrade by corrupting the kernel, then it formats back to OS 3, but then there's huge security flaws and potential wiping of all of your information. So OS 5 is the safest way to run this, and then their solution is to make you pay for a third-party program to actually make it work, which is just completely stupid. And the fact that nothing about that is advertised anywhere, not even on their website. It just says that the software is included, but then it's a paid version, so they literally just give you a free trial. It's like the stupidest thing ever. But now I have to take my drives out, and I have to revert all of this back to normal, because I'm going to be disconnecting this, and if I disconnect this with the location still set to that network drive, I'm going to have major issues. Anyway, that's how you set the entire thing up. It's fairly simple, and if my experiences were better with Western Digital, or if they offered a free version of this program that allows you to pick multiple folders, then I probably would have kept it, but because of shady practices and literally having hidden subscription fees that you have to pay for just to have this product work, I'm basically taken off from this because I can just set the entire thing up with NextCloud for free if I just make a Raspberry Pi, which is only like $40 more than this. And with that solution, I can also have 4 drives as opposed to 2, so that's probably something I'm going to be looking into once that Google Drive subscription expires or whatever, but hopefully you found something useful here. Like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't like it, that's cool. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, that's awesome. Join the members program if you want to help my financial ruins of continuously buying stupid things like this, or don't do any of it. I'm not telling you what to do.